I'm very excited to speak with you about Dark Web Cicada 3301, a very fun full title there. This movie,
You.
oh, it's writing that down. I was like, okay, make sure I have it all. I do think it's an interesting film that mixes a little bit of comedy, a little bit of action. How would you personally describe the film?
I would describe it as like a happy meal. Like, like that's how a happy meal makes you feel. There is nutrition in there somewhere. There is a meal, there's a
You
full
ate
plot.
cupcakes. There was
Yes.
cupcakes, so
There's
yes.
action, there's toy. The toy is the comedy. There's action science. It's just kind of like a hodgepodge. I think it's kind of like an evolution of the type of films that Michael Bay was making with like Transformers and things like that, but with a little bit more emphasis on the comedy. I would say it's kind of like a mix of like Transformers and like old school or Hangover, one of those type of things where it's very comedy focused, but it's also very action focused. Which I guess I didn't do a good job of describing it because it was longer than what you said.
No, that was the Happy Meal thing was perfect, but no, you do capture it. It reminds me of 90s movies, which 90s movies had that like WTF, like what is happening, but you like it and you just let it wash all over you. So I think you captured it very well there. I also think that it's funny that you are known for your work in comedy, but you're in this actiony kind of movie. Is this something you've always wanted to do, or did you just stumble upon being Ron Funches, the action star?
A little bit of both. It's it's definitely something I always wanted to do, but at the time where I got the role, I didn't know necessarily if I felt ready for it. It actually took Alan to push me a bit and to accept the role and to let me know because I talked to him and I was like, "This is a lead role, you know." I go, "I'm a comedian. I've done some guest things. I've not necessarily done full." Acting thing like this before, and he was like, you don't worry about it. I believe in you. This character is you. So just come here and be you, and we'll figure the rest out. And I love it. Like watching the trailer, seeing it, and I think I did a really good job. I'm very proud of myself. And since then, this was shot 2.5 years ago. I've definitely pushed myself into more and more dramatic roles and actiony roles. But this was the very first time that I got to do something like this.
And I love that you are very proud of it because you are one of my favorite parts of this film. You have the moments that make me laugh, but you're also dramatic at times as well. You have again, you were just such a fun actor, so I love seeing it. I also like to hear that you were kind of the character was a little bit of you because I was going to ask the Avi character is so you. Did you bring that in, or was that in the script? Where
Um,
is that balance?
has a lot of me, and then Alan again. Just I think being a smart director, I think he's
Mm-hmm.
good at it. And anytime that there'd be times where I was like, okay, well, he's a smart professor, so I have to talk a little bit more up here and be thinking. He was like, no, stop, cut. You're just you as this guy. Just be you.
Mm-hmm.
Keep simplifying it and be you. And that's all he would say every time I like go get nervous. He's like, just be you. And that's really he really made me feel at ease, and it just kind of let me take control of things and just live in that character, because I did relate to that character easily. He's an obsessive, he's a big nerd, and then at the end of the day he got to kiss a beautiful lady, so I love that.
I was kind of there for that whole end romance. I was like, please don't let her be evil. Please don't let her be evil. Because I was like, I like her. I want you to be happy. So good. I'm glad to hear it. It seems like Alan was a great captain of the ship for this film, especially it being his first directorial effort. Was it fun on set? Because the movie has a fun energy. Was it like that on set? Were you guys laughing the whole time? Because it seems like you guys were all pretty damn goofy.
Oh, we were not laughing the whole time, especially when he was like, "Hey, lay in this ditch for a few hours." We were, or lay in the back of these trucks, and somebody's just gonna grab you and drag you out of it, because we didn't have stunt doubles. So So it was some parts where we had to trust him quite a
Mhm.
bit. And it was a lot of a run and gun shoot, a low budget shoot, and so we would do a few takes on, and some of the other actors would be like, I'm not sure, if we're nailing this or not. But I think the one person who had that vision and one person who kept us straight was kept us on float was Alan, because I think he always knew what he wanted from it and what he wanted to see at the end of it. And as soon as I saw the first trailer, I was like, oh wow, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah, and it's a vibrant film. There's a lot of life and personality. So to move away from the film just ever so slightly, I follow you on YouTube. I love your podcast. Do you have a dream podcast guest? Because I loved your Renee Paquiyat. I think that's how we say her name now. It was Renee Young formerly. I really like your podcast. So is there a guest that you are dreaming to get? Maybe even the cast of this film would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I would love, please. I'd love to get Alan to talk on this on my podcast. That'd be great. Conor Leslie, anybody who wants to be on it. Although I said Conor Leslie, which is her name. But
Yes, I was like Connor, comma Leslie.
yes. But if you're asking my dream ones, Carol Burnett would be a dream guest for me, just because I grew up loving everything she did. The Rock, who's just a big hero for me, movie wise and business wise, and I think he's a good person. I think Barack Obama would be fun to just interview him and talk to him what he's and I mean, if I could pick anyone living or dead, it would be Lucille Ball, just because she was my biggest hero and influence in comedy, and I'd love to talk to her, even though that's not possible.
Oh, I would love to talk with you about I Love Lucy Forever. I grew up as like a little Cuban kid, so seeing that show,
Oh
it was so
yeah,
special to me.
I
And
got my
yeah,
little Lucy portrait right there. She
ah,
stays in my corner, watching over me.
good. I think that's a wise person to watch over you. So I have a fun, kind of wrestling related question for you now. We'll tie it back to Cicada because I know you are a wrestling fan. I've seen you talk about it on Match Game a little bit and things like that. If you had to pick one wrestler to go on a Cicada mystery adventure with, we can even do 80s and 90s for you to make it a little bit more specific. Who would you pick to go on this adventure with?
Well, the easiest answer, of course, is The Rock, because he's already an action movie star. He would know how to handle every bit of that. So I'm going to move away from The Rock, and I'm going to go again with another man who has passed, but I'm going to go with Macho Man Randy Savage, because he is dangerous, he is insane, and if we were getting shot at, he's going to be the one they're going to shoot at, because he's wearing tassels. He's full, just colorful and lit up with a big giant hat, and I can just sneak away.
Oh, good. I'm glad in your head it was 80s Macho Man and not like later when he was like Bonesaw and Spider Man. I'm glad in your head it was tassel, full on elbow drop Savage. That's awesome. So yes, to kind of wrap this up, I wanted to ask, what is in the future for you with this film coming out? What else are you working on? I know you have your podcast. What is up with Ron right now? Because I want to see you in more.
Oh, thank you. Well, unfortunately, because the way things are wrapped up, it's weird, because a lot of these things are years apart, but they all then kind of come out together. I have
Yeah.
another movie the month after this, I believe, or maybe a few months after, called Golden Arm, that'll be coming out with uh, Mary uh, Mary Holland and Betsy
Ooh.
Sodero and Eugene Cadero. And so that's a fun, just comedy about lady arm wrestling that I'm really excited about. And then I'm in a few animated projects that are still going, with more trolls, more Harley Quinn, and I just did a couple pilots that I hope get picked up. One with Adam Devine, that a game show with the two of us that I would love to make. So I'm hoping for more of that.
Well, he's my celebrity man crush. So yes,
You
thank you.
picked well. He's a little, yeah, you could put him in your pocket, but he's also buff.
Yes, and everyone always calls him ugly in movies, and I'm like, stop shaming me here, movies. Like, this isn't
No,
fair.
that's wrong. That's just sometimes what people do. That makes you feel bad as a regular, good, handsome person, when you're like,
Right?
this guy is super handsome, and you're gonna call him ugly?
Oh,
I know.
good, good, Good to hear. I hope there is an action movie in the role in the future for you as well. I thought you did so well with the fun elements here. So thank you again for speaking with me. It has been an honor. You are such a joy, such a joy.
Oh, EJ, it's a true pleasure. I always love, I mean, often I get to speak to people who don't care to speak to me at all. So the fact that you do means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
Well, good. And you also complimented my Funko, so I also have to like love you for that. Like, you know, just a little like,
Of
oh, thank you.
course.
Thank you again so much.
A pleasure, EJ. You have a great day.